Actually,
Did you? Yep.
I call the meeting to order. Lindy, you have roll call?
Mayor Crane.
Here.
Councilmember Saltz.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Sayer.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Tanner.
Here.
And Attorney Powell.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Let's stand approved. Henry?
I'm here tonight to report on the 4th of July celebration. I'll give each of you our financial report. I want to thank all the city departments, the police, the park people, the firemen, the street department. Did I miss anybody? They helped us very much on this and we appreciate it. In spite of, am I supposed to stand here?
You don't have to.
But, in spite of one rain out and 4 rain shortened days, we still came out very well. You can see on income, our booklet adds, the community supports us very well in stage banners and community ads. Carnival ride, income was $20,958, that's the second highest ever. And for 4 shortened nights, that was fantastic. The last 2 nights, the crowds were just fantastic. You can see our grand total with inflation, we keep going up, $43,766. Expenses, fireworks is $1,200. Knowing that we were gonna have to rent a stage this year, we cut back somewhat on the entertainment groups. Instead of around 10,000, we were 7, because we paid $5,900 for the stage. So next year, we'll up the entertainment budget, since we won't have to pay for a stage. Second page, you can see what we paid for the program book at $3,500. Radio and Facebook ads. Utilities, we paid $1,341.94 to the city. And insurance, for the event was $1,740, and I'm hoping, or $1,640, and I'm hoping our year-round liability insurance will only be around $300. So that cost keeps going up, but you gotta have it. So the bottom line is, our gross profit was $417.20, so. With the rain and the stage cost, I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, I would say so.
questions or suggestions?
I thought it went real good.
I guess we'd like permission to have the park next year from Friday, June the 28th to Thursday, July 4th, so we could do the celebration again next year.
Does anybody have a problem with that? That's fine, Henry.
Henry, you guys do a hell of a good job,
Thank you.
great job.
Yep, that's good. Thank you.
Yes.
Charlotte, did you have anything?
Yeah, I did, as a matter of fact, up there where I live at Constitution Avenue, I was wondering, I know y'all can't put no speed bumps in there cause of their elderly people, you know, but like, can you put like slow signs on each side of the, when you come in that place? You know, cause there are cars that go by their speed, you know, kinda fast. I mean, they even go faster sometimes than they do on Park Avenue. You know, and I was also wanting to know if you could put some like brighter security lights up there, you know, in those little post things.
We can take a look at it, get up the signs.
I mean, yeah, because they go through on motorcycles too kinda fast, you know, and everything. I mean, you know, they are elderly, well, not the elderly, but you know, there is elderly people out there.
What do you think? We okay to put some signs up there?
You're gonna have a speed limit on them, or what?
We can do a speed limit, or we can just,
Yeah, it's just a, like, elderly, I don't know, just, yeah, put a speed limit sign on there or something like that. I don't wanna call myself elderly, you know, but you know. Elderly, yeah, that's right,
yeah.
You know, but I mean, they do kinda speed through there, you can even tell
I
you.
was gonna say, it's not a white truck that says City of Covington.
Yeah, it's not bad, you know. But anyway, that's,
We'll take a look at the lights.
yeah, and the lights too.
Charlotte. We'll take a look at that and see what kind of signs we might have.
Yeah, because one night it's like me and myself and another neighbor, we had to call the, cause there was like some kids walking around, you know, about like 3 different times.
Uh-huh,
And it was kinda like uneasy, you know, it's
okay,
kinda weird that they do something like that.
oh yeah. We'll see what we can do.
Okay, well, I'd appreciate it.
Sure, thank you.
You're welcome.
Casey?
We've had a couple small minor water service leaks, been busy with brush, and started street sweeping again, and some sidewalks have been taken out for replacement.
Very good, thank you. Greg?
Let's see, the pool closed to the public yesterday, so it'll sit empty this week and then the school starts using it next Monday.
Are they gonna start?
They are, I called them finally. It's like, I hadn't heard anything, I just kinda wondered. And they'll use it through the end of, well, for 3 weeks, through the end of the month.
Okay,
And once we close, I think I'll put together maybe a little list of things that we need to give some attention before opening next year.
okay,
This is an idea of what work could be done up there.
okay. Bart, Garth?
just talked to, Jeff Murray from, Vonleh Safety on the truck. We'll start fabricating the box in the next 4 weeks. We'll continue to get progress reports on it. Believes we should get delivery of it at the end of October, 1st November. The fabricator had told him that he is ahead. He's not behind on stuff, so it looks like we might get it sooner than what we thought. So about the end of October, 1st November, but they'll keep us updated.
Okay,
We are gonna have, 4 people in a class starting in September.
okay, good.
So, it's gonna be possibly held at Perrysville it's a 1-week class.
Okay,
And get 4 people through that. We did, finally, engine 5.0, the truck we were replacing, the pump they finally let go.
yes,
It still can be utilized, it just can't be used as a pump.
right,
We can use it for equipment and support, but we still do have 2 pumps. We still have engine 5.1 and we still have that, pump on the 5.6, so we still have 2 good pumps. We're
Okay.
still good and we do have mutual aid.
okay,
I think Mark's gonna talk a little bit about our fundraiser now.
okay,
So the, fundraiser from the 4th of July, we're about $3,500 to $3,700 short of what our goal was, of the 9,500, for skid unit for the Ranger. So, our plan is now, we're gonna, original plan was to go to the community foundation, see.
how short?
About 3,500 to 3,800 roughly.
We probably have enough extra in, public safety, which is what it can be used for, to make that up.
Do you wanna do that, or do you wanna save that for the truck, for the equipment?
I would hope that we could, how much are we gonna need for the truck? The balance on the truck?
I think you put half down, didn't we, on it originally, so what, 280, another 280, wasn't it?
280, but,
And then you're probably looking at equipment, 65,000.
well, not counting equipment, what,
Do what?
what do
The
you
two
think?
eighty is the balance on just the truck itself, I don't count the equipment.
I thought I saw somewhere 660, was that on a different truck?
Yeah, that was on there, that was the second bid, the first bid was the one we took, which was at 565 or whatever, the second truck, the E1 was one that was at 660.
Okay,
Yeah, so we went with the Toyne, which was the 565, I think, 560,
okay, so
And
you're gonna
the-
need 280 and 60, about 340.
yeah, probably somewhere around in there.
We still have enough to pay to do 3,500
Okay,
on that.
that's up to you guys, I mean, we'll appreciate it, but.
Now,
I mean, I talked to Dale earlier before we started this, too, about
okay,
putting in.
you wanna try that?
Yeah, I'd like
Okay.
to try for a grant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we appreciate it, I mean, it's, either way,
well, we may do this as a backup, but I think, I don't think it'll be a problem, but that's.
I don't think it will, probably. Go ahead.
So anyway, that's where we're at on that, and then, I talked to you, I think, 3 months ago about doing hydrant testing for the end of the year. I'd like to see if we can get that scheduled for, excuse me, like mid-September, maybe like the 3rd week in September, maybe. I'll do the ones out Thornhill, Golf Course, Peach Lane, maybe 1 or 2 downtown,
Okay,
so.
And that'll fall in with the ISO thing that they would like for us to do every
Right.
year.
Eric, can you give us a report on the ISO certification?
I've not heard any more outside of, I got an email the other day reference, I had to do a evaluation on when he came in and done the study, but I have not gathered any more from when he was in to do that, inspection on us. I could reach out to him and see, but I'm not received any information where we're at on, after they had done that.
You never seen the final report?
Not yet. All I got the other day, I saw my email, was that they want me to do a evaluation on his performance, basically. That's all I got.
You said at the time that things would probably move downward.
Yeah, he thought we were, he thought we would be, I think we're like 4.5, 4 3/4 right now. He thought we would maybe go to like 5, 5 1/4. It would go up just a little bit, but not a lot. But there's a lot of confusion with that, because there's some houses out here by the bowling alley that are rated at a 10. And we've been told for a long time that, I was told originally that 10 was the highest. Now we're being told 8's the highest, so there's a little bit of confusion.
If you talk about fire codes, it takes
Yeah,
a lot.
but,
But a lot of insurance companies quit insuring after you cross an 8.
yeah, so there's a lot of, so we're working on trying to get, I was approached by another agent. They have some of their houses that were marked, and they're marked wrong. They're out there by the bowling alley, and they're marked as Perrysville's district. Where the confusion is, if you go west of Mallett's Corner or Dead Man's Curve, all those addresses out there are Covington addresses. They almost match the same number as what we have out here by the bowling alley. So we think there's some little bit of confusion with those numbers. And they're thinking that the numbers that were given were out west of Covington, not the ones over here by the bowling alley.
Was there an indication as to why we were dropping?
Some of it was, part of it was from the fire department, with some training, with going through the COVID and that transition, trying to, get people into training. That was part of it. Part of it was, hydrant testing. The last one we had done was in like 1999. Was the last one that was on record, that they could
The
find.
frequency is part of what.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we're trying to go with, doing more hydrant testing. He gave us a lot of suggestions of what we can do to, help with that. We don't have to do all 100 and some hydrants in the city every year. Hydrant testing, as long as you're showing you're going through the city, getting a few here and there, and have them on a plan, that helps a lot with your ratings. I think a lot of you run into is you also, they look at, you gotta have a code enforcer, you gotta have a fire investigator, you have to have all these different certifications or levels within your department, helps you with your rating. And that's challenging when it comes to being a volunteer fire department.
Did the rating change at all? I've noticed most of Covington from the homes that I've put together on, who quotes on it, moved from 4 to 5 at this point. But it's not just a Covington area issue. As I'm looking in other counties around, I'm seeing in those cases, their numbers have changed 1 to 2
Yep.
grades. So I was curious, have they changed the way that they're assessing?
I will tell you, this time when we went through this gentleman, it was a lot easier than the one Joe Britt and I went through about 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. I felt like this was a lot easier, process, I felt more confident coming out of this one than I did when Joe and I went through, just for the fact that some of the things that they were demanding back then was a lot more than what they were this time, but, I think a lot of it, part of it fell back on us, with the hydrant testing and the education, the continuing education. But we learned a lot from that, and we weren't that far off from it. It was just the number, we didn't get quite as many points in that as we could have, but we got points in that area. So, yeah, he said it would go up a little bit. He didn't think it would go up a significant amount, but he said it'll probably increase a little bit.
Change to from a 4 to a 5 can make a significant
Yeah.
difference in the cost of
He didn't
insurance.
act like it was gonna be a whole point, but he was saying more like a half a point, half, maybe 3/4, so it must have went up a little more than what he thought.
Like, for us, it's always in round numbers, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the cost of insurance right now as an industry has been extremely negative and gone up a lot of ways, and obviously this doesn't help matters. And I'm curious as to what is it we can do as a city to help improve that.
We need more people. I mean, and unfortunately, I mean, it's gonna be great, we're bringing on these 4, but, it's getting the people to wanna do it. That's the challenge, is because it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of schooling, It's not pulling the hose off the truck and shooting the white stuff on the red stuff. There's a lot of things behind the scenes, a lot of education, continuing education, from becoming, rare, just becoming a firefighter alone is where a lot of people get scared. You're probably looking at, just to get started, you're looking at 150, 160 hours of training, just to get started. The good thing is the class that's getting ready that we're getting ready to put them through is a first step into it. But there's limitations to it. There's certain things they're not gonna be able to do. What we're trying to look at is we're trying to get them interested in it, excited to doing it through this class to further on their education. That's our hopes. Now, will that happen? I can't answer that question until we get more people through this. The state puts a lot of challenges on us when it comes to education. They change a lot of rules and regulations on us, and they really hamper us on what they allow these guys, to do. Unfortunately, I've heard some people say, just let them fight fire, but unfortunately, if something happens, it falls back on me.
How far are we away from not being a volunteer fire department? Where we'd have to,
We continue to grow the way we're getting ready to grow, we're there. I know right now, the city of Attica is getting ready to go to, as of January 1st, now, they went to a territory, so their income is money coming in is gonna be a significant amount. So what they're looking at is Monday through Friday, from what I'm talking with the chief up there, Monday through Friday, then 8 to 5, 8 to 4, 8 to 5, they're gonna have at least 2 to 3 guys on station all the time. And then what they're looking at is their other group of individuals who work during the day would cover during the nighttime as a volunteer. But that's where they're going, as of January 1st, that's their goal.
these guys that'll be there Monday through Friday will be on their salary then.
Yeah,
Right?
be on salary, which from what I gathered is that's part of what this territory is that will pay for part of that. But their run load is significant, they go on all medical calls, and, of course, their fire calls and stuff like that.
The issue with recruiting volunteers is not unique to us. It's a problem in general, and not even in the state of Indiana, it's a problem all over.
Oh, yeah, it is.
What, is it just because of the training issues, is that the hardest obstacle to overcome, or what is it?
I gotta be careful how I say it, so, it's the time. It's the time. It's the time that have to put in to do it. You know, it's, the education side of it is huge to be able, you know, to, like I said, to be able to go in and fight fire, go into a structure firefighting, you have to get a certain level of certification. You know, and then all behind the scenes issue, you know, the fundraisers, the, you know, coming back from a fire at 2 o'clock in the morning and you have to clean hose. You know, by the way, you gotta be at work the next morning at 6 a.m. You know, I need to go home and get rested before I go to work, you know, and it's all the behind the scenes thing that a lot of people don't see that we have to do. And when they see that, they're like, nah, I don't want that. The other thing you run into is, one, not to take up all your time. When I started 30 years ago, everybody worked 8-hour shifts, 7 to 3, 3 to 11, 11 to 7. You don't see that a lot right now. You're seeing people working 12-hour shifts. They're working an hour, 45 minutes to an hour away. So you take somebody that works an hour away, takes an hour to get to work, you work 12 hours, get an hour home, that's 14, 15 hours out of your day. What's that leave you? And now we're asking them to come down and volunteer.
Being a volunteer, department, is that hurting us on the rating? Is that what you're saying?
It hurts you on recruiting, so that.
Well, I know,
has
yeah.
an impact.
I mean, I think
I honestly, I don't think it, yes and no, but it's just, you know, it's just hard. I mean, you know, like I said, when Garth and I both come on, you know, everybody, you worked around town or you was close by and 8-hour days. You know, like I said, now you got, like I said, 14, 15 hours a day away.
We've got a lot.
Who want, you know,
We've got a lot of
you know, I'd ask
residents
this question,
that are
would
professional
you wanna
firefighters.
come down? Would you wanna come down and volunteer after 15 hours a day? See, I mean, that's a problem we run into.
Fine.
And unfortunately, and you ask about volunteer for that, I don't know that it hurts us so much. Now, if you decide to go to the paid side, now you open up a whole other can of worms.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're really gonna be restricted. I mean, they have to be out the door in a certain amount of time. There's a lot of guidelines you have to follow when you become a
The
paid.
guidelines change too.
Yep, and they get a lot stricter. Not that I'm saying that's not something we're gonna have to look at. I'm just saying is it's tough there too.
Well, I just wondered with our population growing, you know, whether we're gonna be made to go there. And, you know, pretty soon.
Why did Attica go there?
Part of that is, from what I got from Mike, is they just wanna provide to their area where they're becoming a territory, the best services they can provide to them and return that back to them, you know, with that.
What's the territory?
So basically what they've done is they've taken Logan Township, Shawnee Township, and, Davis Township, and they all put together, money into a territory. The money, it goes from like tax rate of like 0.33% goes, something like that goes into, the fire fund. When you go to a territory, you can go up to almost 1%. And it goes, you know, tax goes into that territory. And then that money is utilized to, you know, buy equipment, if you want to do personnel, you know, apparatuses, whatever it
So
is.
people's taxes go up.
Yeah,
Okay. That's what I thought.
yeah.
Maybe we can have this conversation.
Right, yeah.
And it could take up a whole meeting.
Yeah, and I don't need to do that, but yeah.
Let's do that and, schedule a time, we can meet in about any time on it, cause it is important,
Right.
so.
Sorry to go off. on
No.
that. It's,
No, that's fine,
Needed information.
yeah,
that's all I had, I don't mind.
Yeah, I was done too.
thanks, guys. Shannon?
Basically, I gave you guys all the ordinance that
Yes.
I'd like to get passed. Basically, everything that's in there, you guys have already voted on or decided on, especially like $2,000 uniforms and all that stuff. The changes in there is for the comp time to overtime. And back when this was written, everybody was on 8-hour days at that time.
Sure.
So you'll see a change in on a little bit of that. So basically, we're in 2 shifts, 12 hours and an 8-hour. So if you would, just read it, go through it. You guys can vote on it whenever you guys, next meeting, whatever. I'll answer any questions if you don't understand something. But pretty much everything's verbatim from the past. But it's been like 2008, maybe, since it's been updated.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's where we're at. The other thing I have, Bob asked a question last meeting in reference getting paid out for our comp time. So as you know, I told you I got 178 hours. Basically, a payout for me would be $5,007. And Chuck with 80, which would be $2,076. If you guys would decide to go ahead and pay us, that would get our comp time back down to where it's basically zero. You know, we're gonna get probably at least another 12 to 36 hours with the next few holidays that we have, depending on how it hits.
That's how many hours you took accumulated in comp time?
Yep, but they keep
That's
accumulating.
been, but that's been over, I mean.
Over years.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
6, 7 years.
Problem is we keep accumulating them, and I don't get time to
Keep those,
use
you
them.
can't use them. Yeah.
So, it'd be nice to get them down. Fresh.
Personnel changes we had recently created a lot of that too.
Correct. But, like I said,
Okay.
but that would be the difference if you guys wanted to go ahead and pay out this down to zero.
So when we get it all caught up, it shouldn't get out of hand anymore now that we've got the right staff in place, right?
Well, right, it's just like I said, it's just a matter of, you know, I think I got like 56 personal days I still gotta burn. I got, like I said, 178 comp hours with vacation still, and just trying to find the time to use it, it's just not gonna be there.
Sure.
But, like I said, I think you said it wasn't this year's budget, but something that you guys wanna consider at the first of the year, or that's where we're at on that.
Got it down anyway, so.
And like I said, it might adjust by next time we get a couple more holidays, so.
I'll probably have extra in the budget for next year.
Are we in agreement to go ahead and start paying, overtime for holidays, the time and a half for holidays?
Yes. Yeah.
We need to make a motion on that?
Well, no, we're gonna pass the ordinance next meeting, on the 21st.
The whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing, but I wanna read through it, you guys need to read
Yeah,
through it, yeah.
Well, on the, then we need to come to some kind of agreement on the comp time then. Whether we're gonna pay it
And
out.
that'll be for next year.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, but it'd be best to start out on even playing fields for all of them instead of having the guys with big groups of hours.
yeah, that would happen after December.
Is comp time addressed directly in here? Or is that a separate issue?
What do you mean?
The addressing of reserved comp time?
Are you-
It's a
Buying
separate
it out,
issue.
it's a separate issue, it's not.
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay.
You say you had 178 hours.
178 right now.
How many hours does Chuck have?
Chuck's a little bit over 80, but if you get him paid out 80, that just gets in the bare minimum.
Okay. Okay, Shannon, thank you.
Yep.
Paul, do you have anything? Okay. Keith?
Yeah, I just wanna see if we, possibly could get someone to take a look at a tree on Mike Dexter's side of the alley at 4th or 6th Street and Johnson Street. I know they've mentioned it a couple times over the years, and I brought it up a few times, and finally they totaled the car out over the weekend. And there's a big one up there waiting to total another car or a human.
We got a tree trimmer finally started started today, so.
Yeah, it's on the northeast corner of the alley right there, Dexter's. The tree's basically leaning across the alley, and I can't hardly believe that it's stayed up through the storms we had this summer.
Okay. Take a look at it tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Sure. John? Jerry, Mary? Seth? Okay, Carol? Holly? Brian?
Yeah, I'd like to, try to get the rest of the 35 lots approved for Whisper and Willows. Brought that up June 19th. Bob made a motion, but I made a second to approve. So we have a total of 35 lots for Whisper and Willows.
Right.
So to continue on the engineering to get that finalized, I have to have it approved.
The one I saw had 2 lots that didn't have a road going to them, that were landlocked.
No, there's a road going to them. There will be, where the easement is, there will be roads going to those.
The easement.
They were all the way down to the south.
Yeah,
So where that easement will come across and tie in with that cul-de-sac, there will be a road there that will access the 2 lots.
okay, it goes from the cul-de-sac down to the 2 lots?
Yes.
Okay, how wide is it?
I'm not sure what that is.
Okay.
I would say probably 20 feet, 22 feet.
Do you,
We need to make a motion to approve the other, 15 lots?
Well, like I say, altogether, there's 1 lot that's sold, there will be 34 new lots.
Yeah.
So on the east side there, we had 5 lots for a possibility of duplexes, so those turned into 8 lots. So they can be smaller homes.
is that the same plan you brought in?
Yes.
Brian, okay?
Yeah, so there was a total of 35 lots on
So it's the lots from the first plan that was okayed and changed, right?
there. Yes.
Okay,
If I can get the whole 35 approved, I'd rather do that, and then that way they're all approved. If not, then I'm not gonna lose the 19 I've already got approved, I guess.
right. Okay, let's look at that, we can act on it on the 17th, 2 weeks.
Yeah, we've already approved the 20, 19 left, and that just leaves the other 15. If we say 35, is that just reapproving the other 20? So we just approved the 15 that he's looking to get on the south end of the property. You know what I mean? We've already approved the 20.
Right, but they're different now. Right, Brian, they changed?
Just strictly the 5 lots that's on the east side will turn into 8.
Well, then we'd have to do the 35 then.
Yes, but I wanna make sure that gets approved before
Yeah.
I would give up the other 19.
You got it in front of you, man?
Yeah, I see it here.
And we also need that sewer brought into the south end, which would go up that easement. There's a 12-foot easement that goes all the way up there to the south end of our property.
Mm-hmm. So that's gonna be where the road is, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I'm not gonna have 2 lots you can't get to.
That'd be kinda tough.
Based on what I've seen with some of these other subdivisions and issues that we're having with them now, I have difficulty approving without full engineering, but I have no problem making a motion subject to complete engineering being provided.
Well, I've already signed the contract
for $38,000 to have it done, so.
Like this,
So it'll be-
like
it'll be
this
finished.
here.
Yeah, just like he's done every other subdivision, which if it can pass Lafayette, I would hope it could pass here.
I would hope so.
You know, I think some of the issues that we found with sewage, water, and hydrants, and
You'll have all the utilities on there, it'll have, I've already paid for the topography, that's already been done by Deckard Engineering, or the Deckard Survey.
The only thing I'm questioning is, it's different than the one before, so we,
you'd have to prove it like that. And I would make the motion to approve it subject to final engineering.
So they are doing the engineering for all 35 lots, is what they're doing. That's what I paid for.
And you have to have the other 15 approved by us, so that
Correct.
you can get your engineering completed.
Even then,
Yes.
those lots have been changed, so it's this map that we're talking about.
Yeah,
yeah, the other map is,
yeah.
That's been modified.
And he's got a lot of the stuff already done, so it's just me telling him, let's get it finished up.
How about we go ahead and vote on it and see where the board's at instead of pushing it
yeah.
out of here? I mean, let's see where we're at.
If he's trying to do it for
Go
this
on
phase
phase
two,
two.
Yeah.
if that's what your goal is, you know, he's got a deadline to have to work with.
Yeah.
I have no
I
problem,
need to get it approved, I mean,
I have no problem making a motion for approval, subject to final engineering.
Okay.
I'll second that.
I have a second. Bob,
Yes,
Brad,
Yes.
Joe? Yes. Justin,
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
say when he has everything finalized, I'll bring everybody a set of copies.
Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Is that what you had, Brad?
Yeah.
Scott? Nancy? I know you girls don't have any. Josh?
I just had a couple things. I have a gentleman that keeps coming up to me, he lives on Second Street, he just keeps asking about spraying mosquitoes down by the river, Second Street. He claims that he hasn't had them sprayed, or the city hasn't sprayed down there this year. I believe he said he had talked to the city building. I told him I'd bring it up in council. He said that it's been worse this year than the other years in the past, so.
Since it was dry and hot, Joe did not spray because they weren't out.
Yeah.
Now that it's obviously, we have moisture, he's going out,
Yep, okay,
so.
all right, I'll let him
He
know.
hasn't, but to answer the question, but it started.
Okay, 10-4.
He's out tonight, isn't he, Casey?
Should, I don't even know if he's going tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah.
He was, never told me which.
Okay.
And then, but the pavilion looks great down there, the work they did.
Thank you.
It turned out nice, that standing seam looks good, but are they gonna do anything to the pilings?
And we were talking about that before the meeting.
Okay.
They all need to replace.
Yeah, just rotting at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I figured that was,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wasn't the only one that saw that, but I thought that's something you might wanna
Yeah.
address at some point. And then the other question, are we still adding the recorded minutes to the website? Past since June, it hasn't been added.
I thought it was.
If I can get him to upload them, I put them on there, and I text him and tell him to put them on there, and sometimes he gets back with me, sometimes he doesn't.
Okay.
I've asked to have control of that, but I've yet to get it.
I just hate that, we spend a lot of money to have them.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
So,
I'll get it for you, Justin.
okay,
I'll talk to him.
that's all I had.
Okay, Josh. Justin?
I don't have anything tonight.
Joe?
no, I don't have anything.
Brad?
During this time of year, at this point, I would move our meetings to once a month at 6 p.m. starting in September,
We'll have to start in October.
October. Okay.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
I'll second that.
Josh?
And one more time, what was that, Brad?
Starting in
Motion.
October, going back to once a month.
One meeting a
Meeting
month,
be set at
starting in
7
October.
Okay, You said 6 o'clock?
Six P M,
The first Monday of each
the
month.
first Monday.
Okay, yeah, I agree to it.
Justin?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Motion passes. Starting in October,
At 6.
six o'clock. No, you had Brad?
Yeah, I've got some other things I'm working on that.
Bob?
To talk about tonight.
Yeah. Garth and Bart and I are gonna meet out at the golf course Wednesday evening. I'll try to get hold of Jeff,
Okay,
to meet us out there so that they know how many more fire hydrants they gotta put in. The new leaf back was bought. We need to get another tractor to pull that.
Roger Herzog has one he's gonna rent to us.
Oh, he bought the one that off the road
Yeah.
that we need, yeah.
Yeah,
So he's gonna rent it to us?
yeah,
Blacktopping,
yes.
where we at on that?
Well, I've gotta call them, cause they should be ready to come in and do it now.
Including 13?
Yeah, well, I'm waiting on the gas company to move the gas line over 15 feet.
Well, if they can't get 13th Street ready, can they come in and do the
Well,
other streets?
that's what I want them to do.
Yeah, yeah.
They said they'd have to charge for another mobilization, but I just can't believe it's gonna be that much.
No.
But gas company, I talked to them again today, and they're supposed to be here,
Oh, are they?
if not this week, the first of the week.
Good, well, then maybe they'll have 13th Street ready then.
Yeah.
Get it ready. That's all I have.
Oh, I
Okay.
do have one other question. Taylor, where are we with, being able to annex that subdivision in?
Rivercrest in the middle of Rivercrest?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Rivercrest, the center.
Right, right.
Yeah, we, and I talked to Brian about this a couple weeks ago, maybe after the last, excuse me. We have kind of a series of 6